Hello and happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's episode of Breakfast with Boom. I'm your host, Mr. BoomStick XL, and we have a very special guest joining us. He's made his appearance many times before. You know him as Ham Solo from TSWS Gaming. Brother, welcome. How the heck are you, man?
You know, you might see me throwing up the bones right here. You know, a lot of people know that as Xbox around here, but also my home state in Nebraska, and crossbones right there let you know that the black shirts are here as well. So thank you so much for the invite here. Glad to be here. I'm doing my thing to grow on my channel, and I'm always more than happy to come over here and spit my truth, spit my facts out here. And I mean, I'm probably going to be in agreement with a lot of you guys because, man, I love me some Xbox. And, man, did they come out and give me the show that I've been waiting for. So I'm very, as I said, excited to be here with y'all today.
Oh, we're happy to have you, brother. And yeah, we're going to get into it. This show, folks, might be considered one of the messier ones in a bit because we're going to be getting into some Metacritic threats from people in the community that really want to let you know how important it is to dog Starfield. And I we were talking in the green room, and Dave, if there's one thing that we can all agree on, it's that this Xbox show, as well, of course, followed by the Starfield Direct, it shook a lot of PlayStation gamers at their core. They're feeling a type of way. They are feeling abandoned. They're feeling jaded because Sony, their show was nothing but service games and Spider-Man, because let's not call spade a spade. Spider-Man is going to be dope, and it is coming out this year, so we got to give props where props are due. But one of the things that they did not do, which a lot of people were expecting, considering they spent 600 days away from actually making big shows, was the future. What's the future of PlayStation? Well, we know what the future is of Xbox all the way up until 2025, and we still don't know how many more games are in development. Pretty good time, but how you feeling, brother? Good morning.
I'm feeling really good, Boom. I'm glad you're feeling better. This is the first time I got
to yes, I
actually talk to you since we had to skip out on Monday's show, and
yeah,
just really thankful that you're in good shape, bud.
Appreciate the kind words, dude. Yeah, it was. I wasn't scared because I didn't think it was my heart. I really didn't. I don't have any heart issues. My heart's super strong. Turns out it was just a really vicious asthma attack. And I'm not 100%, but good enough to talk on the mic. I'm not ready to hit Pilates yet. I may have to take another week off. We'll see what the doctor says. But I appreciate you being here, Dave.
That's all I can say.
Oh, yeah. Well, I appreciate that very kindly. And again, I cannot wait to get your hot take because we haven't really had a chance to sit down and kind of talk and get your hot takes on some of these big games. Fable, Avowed, Motorsport. And speaking of Motorsport, the one racer himself, Fuzzy Belvedere. What the hell are you, dude?
I'm doing great. Glad you're with us, and everything is getting better. And same thing with Dreadpool, man. I just want to make sure everybody here is healthy and in good shape. And man, what a showcase! That was exactly what we've been asking for, and
it's what we deserve. I'm sorry, I don't want to talk over you, and I don't want to be an a-hole, but it's what the Xbox fans deserved. I'm sorry.
True. Yeah, Motorsport definitely showed up exactly the way I wanted. And just one more question I have on just the AI as far as custom races, but everything else looks like it's a definite improvement over the last generation of Motorsport games and stuff like that. But man, what a showcase! What a lot of great announcements, and man, can't wait to get into it. Let's do this.
Yeah, and you know what? We got to say a big thank you for Dreadpool being here, which is why I saved him for last. Folks, if you didn't know, he spent a couple of days in the hospital with potentially a heart issue, but it turns out the man with the best beard in the business, his heart is as strong as an ox. Dreadpool, I can't believe you're here, but good morning and welcome, dude.
Strong like bull. Yeah, no, I mean, you never know. That's the thing. You never know. And tests are all inconclusive. But other than that, everything else is good. So they can't find nothing wrong with me. So I'm here. I'm ready to go. And yeah, it's definitely a scare when we see that you're having some stuff,
It's crazy.
and then out of the blue, obviously my stuff that I've kept quiet. But so everybody knows, yes, I was in the hospital, but no worries. We're all good. We're here. We're going to talk about some really good stuff that we saw, and I am so glad I'm alive to
Hell
see all
yeah,
this,
man.
right?
Oh my
And
goodness.
and not worry about that I'm going to miss out on anything good for this up and coming year and moving
Look, I got to
forward,
be alive, and you got to be alive to at least Resident Evil 17. Like,
right?
honestly.
Yeah, so I'm excited, and with the topics we got, you'll be surprised with what I got to say. You'll be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we are going to get into it. We're going to have some fun with it. But look, at the end of the day, folks, I will say this. A couple of weeks ago, my brother, community's great friend, Cognito, was also hospitalized. And obviously he got his thing under control. He's in great shape because obviously, the guy's a workout madman, right? So you don't expect him to have any trouble, but he did. But thankfully, he's better. And one of the things that I took away from what happened with Cog, and literally, folks, I heard it in my mind, like I heard his voice. I heard, Boom, you got to listen to your body. Boom, you got to listen to your body. And I went to the urgent care. And that's because of what happened with him. Because I actually literally heard his voice. So it just goes to show you that how people's other people's experiences sometimes could help you, but enough of the medical shenanigans, folks. You're not here to hear that. You're here to talk about video games, and holy cow, do we have an amazing show. But I do want to start off with a little bit of bad news, but is the question. Well, Flintlock, as you know, was one of my most anticipated titles of 2023 because it has a very Assassin's Creed, Dungeons and Dragons kind of a feel to it. And I'm all for that, especially because it's in third person, which is great. Well, it turns out, folks, that game is going to miss this year. And I have the press release from the Play Flintlock crew. This is what they had to say, folks. We want to update our fans on the development of Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. To make Flintlock the absolute best experience it could be at launch, we have made the decision to move the game's release into 2024. We have been hard at work crafting a unique and deeply detailed open world brimming with thrilling fights, rewarding exploration, and a true sense of discovery. It's important to our whole team that Flintlock is a special experience, and we owe it to ourselves and to all of you who have been following the game since it was announced to make it the most impressive and unforgettable game it can be. Your ongoing and unwavering support has been incredible. Each of us at A44 Games are humbled and inspired by your excitement for what we are creating, and we truly appreciate your patience. We have a lot of exciting things to show you, and we'll have updates for you very soon. Now, Haim Solo, this is one of those situations that, sure, this is a big Xbox Game Pass game. We saw this actually happen with several of them. Obviously Stalker 2 is held up for very good reason, so no one gives them any smoke for that. I mean, the poor developers actually lost people due to the Ukraine-Russian war. And we've seen other games that were supposed to hit Game Pass that weren't so much exclusive like Stalker was, but they're Game Pass. So we don't, as Game Pass players, don't have to buy it. This is actually a good thing for Flintlock because this year is just stacked. There are just way too many games. Well, what are your hot takes on this?
My take is let it cook. I am 100% in the spot of like, yo, ain't no reason to rush and come out here. We just got a really fantastic showcase. We know, like if I'm just talking outside of just Xbox, like if I'm talking about like all the stuff that I got and whatnot, or some of the other people out there. It's just like, bro, I'm in no hurry for you to rush out and throw a game out. And then on top of that, remember, this is a new IP. You get one chance
Yep.
to come out and look good.
Yeah.
Don't step in a pile of doo-doo on the way
Mhm.
out the door. Like that's just not what we're trying to see. We seen how Forspoken came out at the beginning of this year, and as many chances as it had with being delayed and stuff like that. Same with Redfall. We seen how that came out. That was rough. So it's just like, yo, if you know what you got is good, and you see the rest of this year, you got Starfield, we got Forza the rest of this year, Spider-Man for those that have a PlayStation as well. Some great third-party games are going to be coming out. Like man, the rest of this year is sewed up for
Yeah.
many people. I know for myself, like, I'm not sure how I'm gonna be balancing Starfield with Spider-Man with Cyberpunk DLC and then Forza, and I mean a ton of stuff just going on. So this game just needs to relax, get what it needs to get done, and come into Game Pass smooth. Don't come in there tripping. That's all I'm trying to see.
No, I mean, listen, it's a fantastic point, and I think that that's just some of the games. I mean, we got to remember there are games that that released earlier that people are enthralled with. Zelda, I'm one of them. I just got up to the fourth boss, which I'm about to beat. I don't know how long how far I am from beating the game, but there's so much I want to do that I haven't done. Right, I still haven't gotten to Diablo. I still haven't gotten to Street Fighter. Hell, I haven't even gotten to Dead Island 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, my backlog is just ridiculous at this point, and it's only growing. And every day you turn on Xbox Game Pass, there's something. We don't even know what Nintendo has for the fall. You don't think Nintendo has a banger for the fall? I can guarantee you they do. They just haven't announced it yet because they're ninjas, right? Let's bring in Dreadpool on this. Before I do Dreadpool, a couple of super chats came in. First one, we were gifted an amazing, very generous $10 super chat before the show even started from good friend of the program, Richter D. He drops a $10 super chat and says, "Glad you're feeling better, Boom. I might have to use my Microsoft rewards to get one of those awesome Starfield controllers." Dude, do it. I am telling you, I bought one for myself. I bought one for my brother. It is probably, now I have easily 30 controllers. I'm a controller whore. That's just who I am. And Sea of Thieves, high on the list. Titanfall, high on the list. The Forza Horizon 5, just aces, like the chef's kiss. This Starfield controller is probably the nicest controller they've ever released. It is premium. If you don't have it, you got to get it, because, and the headset, which I have over here, is just as gorgeous looking. I'm all in. And yes, I did get the collector's edition. And speaking of collector's edition, Corbini Gaming drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "I got the Starfield controller today. Congratulations. And I ordered the collector's edition on Amazon. Ships September 4th. Yeah, that's pretty dope, dude. Maybe they'll ship it earlier because the collector's edition does give you the early access. So we'll see. Maybe you'll get it even earlier." Yeah. Gerald Mack drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "Xbox fans should be ashamed of themselves after committing the murder of Xbox has no games narrative." I mean, some did. Some jumped on that bandwagon. We're going to come to that, Gerald. Don't you worry about it. We get a little messy today, but Dreadpool, let's get your hot take on Flintlock being delayed. Again, it's going to be a big game for Xbox. It is Xbox exclusive. It is releasing on the PlayStation 5. It is releasing on Steam, but it is in Game Pass. Like Ham Solo said, let it cook, man. And he's right. There are just too many games in the way, and you don't want to take a chance of tripping out of the gate.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's a new IP. Wait, didn't we already have one that kind of fell on its face and is just now getting an update, a massive update? Oh, that's right.
What are you talking about, Cyberpunk?
No, I'm talking about Redfall.
Oh, well, yeah, it did get a massive update. Yeah, it is getting a ridiculous update. Yeah.
A little too late, don't you think?
Yeah,
I
potentially.
mean, well, potentially, but yeah, right from the get-go, it's got a bad name. It's got a bad rap. You know,
Yeah.
it went from like one of the greatest games you must play to yeah, it's one of the greatest flops.
Void
But
at all risks. Yeah.
yeah, you know, and that's the thing. You don't want that. And granted, I enjoyed playing it. I had fun playing it. And most games, if you know you play with the right people, you're gonna have a great time with. Now, this game, yeah, just hold it back. You know, as much as there's games like Fable, I will play Fable right now. But certain games, you know, I want it to be as perfect as possible. You know what I mean? Nothing's ever perfect, but yet again, you want your launch to come out and not have any flops, any issues. You know, you want to minimize and mitigate any risks that when this game comes out, that there's going to be any bad juju. So you want to make sure that this thing comes out. So if it's got to cook longer, fine, let it cook longer. I got no issues with it. Plus the fact that they actually gave us what four separate tweets in a chain to let us know why and what they were trying to do. Yeah, no problem. Just let us know what's going on. You know, be transparent about it, and just you're trying to make the game better. You're trying to make sure that it's perfect on its way out. No worries. You know, some of us will be around.
Hey,
Some of us plan
Dreadpool.
to be. Yeah.
I just want to throw something in there. There's only a few things that can come out and be messy. We've seen it with what is it? Star Wars.
Mhm.
Yeah, Star Wars Jedi Survivor came out messy. But
That's not a
luckily exactly. Luckily we already know the IP. We know the caliber. We know we can see what they're trying to do. But as for a game like Atlas, brother, go on ahead and let them know. You can't do that.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of it is reasonable heads will understand why they're doing this. Now you have the two-sided fanboys that will either love it or hate it just because of whatever the narrative is. But when you have reasonable heads, they will say, "Yeah, no problem. I understand. I will have to unfortunately wait for it, and that will be what it is." And that's, unfortunately, yeah, we won't get to play it as soon as we want, or at least for those that do want it, and those that are curious about it won't be able to try it out as soon as it's available. But when it is, that's when we'll get to experience the actual game that they want us to experience the proper way, not with glitches, not with bugs, not with, I mean, how long did it take me? It took me what, 10 to 12 updates on Callisto Protocol before I can get past that one level where I was going down in the levels to
I still haven't beat that game. I'm at the last boss, and he's the
same here.
cheesiest MF.
Well, I haven't even got to that because I've gotten to the point where I kind of grown tired of it, and this is what's going to happen. I've grown tired, and I love the game, but I've grown tired of it because of repeat. Okay, I got a new update. Nope, completely.
There's only so many restarts a gamer is going to give a game. That's a fact.
Yeah, and like I said, level heads will give it a chance, but when you have the narratives, you have the media bashing anything that comes out that they don't like, for whatever reason, they will bash it, and they will get the normies to hate it also, because they'll be like, there's no point in providing any support in this game, and that's not fair to the devs. It's not fair to those that created the idea of what this game is going to be and actually give us something, and that's why, again, it's not fair if they push it out too early. But again, when they do it right, we'll see what the game's about, and hopefully this little extra cook time will make it perfect, and we won't have any issues, and they'll have a good, successful game, and they can grow from there. And that's what we want. We want that. We want them to grow, and we want those devs to learn from it and make better games from here on out.
Well, I mean, again, like Ham Solo said, it is a new IP. You get one shot to show it off. But Dave,
all I hear is Eminem now.
Oh no, don't do that, please. I like Eminem, but some of his early stuff, I was a little cringy.
One shot.
Dave, let's get your hot take on this. Again, not the biggest story of the day. We're going to get to those. We're going to get to the Starfield talk. We're going to get to the Fable talk, because the thing with Fable is just, at this point, I don't know how many more devs and head developers have to come out and say this was gameplay. It's crazy. The injustice that this game has been given many of the very, very toxic PlayStation community is just nauseating. From the girl is ugly to this can't be gameplay because Microsoft can't make games as good. They're not like Sony. Some of the stuff I've read, I'm gonna tell you this. I was saying this in the green room, and we're gonna get to it. I'm not a doctor, folks. I don't have a PhD, but I was trained to see certain traits with people and the way they speak. And there's a lot of mental illness flowing around on social media that's quite scary. I'm gonna read something. We're not gonna say who it is because we don't like to do that. We won't, shout out anybody. Let them have their opinion. But when I read this to you, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. But Dave, let's keep laser focused with Flintlock. I know it's a game that you might have been interested. Disappointed or not really?
Well, like you guys pretty much said, if at this day and age, where we're at in gaming, if the people that are making the game say they think it needs a little more time to reach their vision and to come out in a a more polished state, then I'm saying delay it, because when it comes down to it, what happens when you release a game that's buggy and crappy and not good? We all know what happens. It has a hard time recovering. Some games do, like Grounded, for example, when it first came out. But then again, it was set up as a, it's a playable, work in progress, and we're working with it. And this is a beta type game, and that's what they wanted. They got feedback, and that actually helped develop the game. But not all games do that. Redfall, obviously, big, big miss. Yes, it had some enjoyable parts to it, and hopefully they'll get it tweaked up. But for this game, Flintlock, you have extremely high expectations. I have high expectations for it. It looks like it's going to be a really good game. If, like I said, the developer thinks it needs more time, I'm all for it. You can't say, because they're the ones that are in the trenches. They know what they're up against, and if they feel, look, we could get this out and be like, oh, this looks pretty, this looks cool, why didn't it do this, or why does it do this, or how come it doesn't reach this level, or how come I can't do this? If they don't want to hear that and they just want to get you a great polished game, I'd rather have a great game, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. Again, I think the perfect example, which unfortunately we're going to have to use as a talking point moving forward for quite some time, even if it gets better, is Redfall. Again, the game came out. I enjoyed it. I'm not apologizing for enjoying it, but I understand why other people didn't. A first-person shooter is supposed to be 60 frames minimum. That wasn't and that wasn't a design choice. That was just because they just didn't have enough time or didn't do what they were supposed to do while they were developing it. It's fine. But first-person shooters genuinely have 60 frames, and they need it to be that way. And that wasn't the case. But good stuff, Dave. Listen, as we close in on 500 people here, before we get the Fuzzy's hot take on Flintlock, and then we're going to move on to some of the Starfield and Fable shenanigans that is going on. I want to thank the real Skymane in the chat, which a name I've never seen before. So welcome to the program. He drops very generous $1 super chat. Thank you for the generosity. We do greatly appreciate it. Of course, we appreciate you being here. Hopefully, if you're new, if you're finding the channel for the first time, folks, we are 300 and change away from hitting 13K. It's been one hell of a month for us in regards to subs. And if you're finding the channel and you're interested in potentially the good work that we do here, if you didn't know, I do this Monday through Friday, 5 different shows, 5 different panels, all great content, and we never sell you on hate. We don't hate monger to get you like, to get you sub. It's only just positivity here and fun and gaming, which is why you tune in. But Fuzzy Belvedere, let's talk about it, brother. Flintlock getting the delay. The press release was pretty lengthy, which I think is good. And it's a game that is in Game Pass, not exclusive, but in Game Pass nonetheless. And obviously, it's going to see a tremendous amount of engagement because of so many Game Pass subscribers currently. And obviously, we're going to see that number grow. Good on them for delaying it. What do you think?
I agree, especially like what Ham Solo was saying earlier. You only have you get one shot at a first impression, and being a new IP, it's better that they start on a good foot as opposed to having it where it's one of those, oh, the worst game released this year because of bugs and so forth. So it's good that they're at least taking the time and recognizing that they need more time to get this game into the state that they feel comfortable releasing. Given how a lot of these AAA games have released as of recent, and I'm looking at you, Star Wars. Even though I roll credits on it, it was a bit rough when it was released, and it was one of those that still got high scores, primarily probably because of the IP itself. But it's time for a lot of these devs, if their publisher permits, which I hope a lot more do, to give them more time. That should be the norm at this point, as opposed to releasing the game and then patching it umpteen times afterwards to get it to where it should have been upon release. But good sign on them. Glad they didn't go with like a little yellow card post, and they went with a I guess you could say more of a personal reply as far as on Twitter. I just appreciate those more than the text in like a yellow or orange or red background kind of thing. But yeah, if they need more time, let them have it. I'm all for it. Got a lot of stuff to play in the meantime, and Diablo's eating up a lot of that time, and I got to figure out how far I can get in Diablo before Starfield comes out. All the while keeping some of the Forza Motorsport stuff going that I'm going to enjoy daily as well. So we'll see. But glad they're taking this time as opposed to releasing something that is looked at as Game Pass fodder or whatever you want to call it type of thing, because they rushed it out the door. So good on them.
I agree. Listen, folks, again, if you're here, we got over 500 people here. Please hit the like button. Obviously, the more that you do that for me, the more the channel grows, the more people find it, the more it gets in people's recommendations. And obviously, the whole point of YouTube is to try and grow. We're doing it organically. We're never going to sell out. We're never going to, go down the hate mongering route. So if you are someone that appreciates the work that goes into the show, you hit the like button, you share it out on social media if you want to be extra fuzzy. No, not intended fuzzy. But I'd greatly appreciate it. But I gotta open up. See, I was teetering, folks. Like, what stupidity should I open up with first? Is it the Starfield stupidity with the community that's just making a complete ass out of themselves and happy to do it, or is it the stupidity of people that can't believe what we saw is actual Fable gameplay? But I'm going to go with Starfield. The reason why I'm going to go with Starfield is because, and this is where we know. It is officially Metacritic has a problem, and the fact that this is actually posted on their website is indicative of that problem. I don't know how this is allowed to happen. I think at some point someone needs to take the reins and be a responsible human being over there and say, listen, we can't allow this garbage. Well, folks, if you didn't know, you're certainly going to find out. Starfield, which doesn't come out until September 1st, playable because of the extra bonus stuff, has its first 0 rating officially on the PC version of Metacritic. And I'm not going to say who it is because, like I said, if you want to go search it, you can go search it. I'm sure someone did a story, but I'm going to read the stupidity. This is what the person had to say on why they gave Starfield a 0. Bethesda. Because making games that work out of the box is less important than figuring out all the ways to extract as much money from your bank account as possible, says user whoever, which I won't say who they are. He goes on to say this, folks. Starfield's Super Special 76 Edition includes an expected disappointment. Comes with a shot glass so you can participate in recurring internet historian drinking game. Take a shot every time Todd Howard lives, or don't. You'll be dead from the alcohol poisoning 5 minutes into the 20-plus minute masterpiece, highlighting yet another Bethesda disaster piece. Okay, so this person obviously played it. But that's not where it ends, folks. And again, if you ask me, I'm not going to tell you because I don't want this to become a hunting party. I don't do that. This is from a very popular PlayStation-centric gamer. He's on Twitter. Obviously, this is where I got it from. And this is where the mental illness comes into play, Ham Solo. It says this: I hope they make more review bombs. I already have 25 accounts ready for release. A little payback for The Last of Us, Horizon, Gran Turismo, all PlayStation games that Xbox like to review bomb. Now, again, I'm not a doctor, folks. This is screaming, I need help. Because, Ham Solo, if you make it your personal... Life is so difficult right now. Maybe eggs are back to normal. Maybe cream cheese is back to normal, and that's awesome. But life is still very difficult for a lot of people. I got to be honest with you. Either you're a freaking millionaire, and this is all you got to do with your time. But if you have to make 25 bogus accounts to review bomb a game that you have never played or will ever play, it's quite scary. Now, I want you to attack this from 2 points of view, because I did not get a chance to talk to you about Starfield specifically. What I saw told me that my life is basically over when it comes to gaming, because I don't know if I want to play anything else. I've already said I've already said, folks, Starfield is my game of the year, and I haven't played it. It's because it's everything that I like as a gamer. It's
insane. Yeah.
It's crazy. So let's talk this on two sides of the coin. Let's talk about the PlayStation community losing their S, if you will. And then, of course, your hot takes on what you saw as a gamer for Starfield. And could this be one of the biggest launches for an Xbox exclusive since, let's say, Halo 3?
Okay, do you want me to tackle that in that order?
Whatever order you feel you want to talk, brother. You go ahead. This is a conversational podcast. Go crazy.
I tell you what, I'm gonna hit it in the reverse order. So, man, Starfield. I tell you what, I'm gonna be flat out honest with you, Boom. Last year, when they announced that Starfield was delayed, I was disheveled.
You were crushed.
I was like, no, because the two games that I'm waiting for the most is, this is going to sound wild to some people, Ark Survival Evolved 2.
Okay.
And Starfield. Just because those are two games I can get just completely lost in for a long time. So, like, very excited for that. I went, seeing that, that showcase was just juicy. It was succulent. It was fantastic. It was everything that you wanted. It was fantastic on a Sunday. It was, the Lord's time. It was fantastic. It was great. But that Starfield piece, man, I went and seen that. I got to sweating, and I was just like, I gotta do it. And I went on ahead and got the $300 Constellation version for that at Best Buy. And I tell you what, it wasn't readily available. I had to sit in a line in Best Buy to get it, and it's currently sold out
everywhere
for PC and Xbox, like everywhere.
Yeah,
I see where on Best Buy where it says just coming soon for both of them. And I'm just like, I'm wondering if they're gonna.
Target sold out the same day. Walmart sold out the same day. Amazon sold out the same. It's crazy, dude. Like, people are really passionate about this, man.
Yep. And so, like, a lot of people seen this, and I remember, talking to friends back, personally, and asking them like, hey, when are you gonna get the new Xbox, or what console they're gonna get? When are you gonna get your PS5 or whatnot? And a lot of them say, they wait for a few games to come out for a console to force them into buying it. I had friends that are buying new Series X's right now because of this game. Like, people cannot wait to play this. It's like the most sold and popular thing on Steam right now. Like, this game is monumental before you've even played it at all. So, like, a lot of people are feeling the same way Boom is feeling. It's game of the year, just based off the way it looks and their excitement. They haven't even played it yet. So like I see that. I'm excited. I mean, that kind of, that kind of energy kind of blossoms, and a lot of people feel that, and that's fantastic. And I tell you what, people see that and they seethe. They get disgusted.
Yeah.
Freaks come out at night. Boom. Freaks come out at night. And
Oh,
that
man.
is really what you're starting to
People
see.
are really twisted, dude. Like,
People-
really?
People that were like, Starfield's never coming. Xbox is going to mess this up. I've seen tweets of a specific person saying factions will release before Starfield.
Even though that game is canceled, but it's okay. It's okay.
But yeah. But check this out. Not only were they feeling like they were on a roll, they were like, man, I am cruising. I gave you guys a good old bruising. Like, come on over. You guys thought you guys had something with Hi-Fi Rush, but that was fine, sure. But look at Redfall, man. Oh man. And then the CMA gate just backhanded you guys. You guys are looking weak right now. And then they were just like, we're gonna flex. We're gonna flex real quick. We're finna knock him out. And they threw just the most measly slap with that showcase, and it was disturbing. It was not good. It was bad. Oh man, watching the Iron Lords podcast
It
during
was epic, dude. Epic.
that PlayStation showcase
King
was
David was
just
on fire.
he was demonic. He went insane. It was absolutely just hilarious. And then just watching a few other reactions to it, I was just like, all right, these people are keeping that energy, right? They're keeping the energy that I'd expect them to keep from seeing a showcase like this. Like, that wasn't okay. Jeff Keighley has his thing. It was all right. I'm not going to say it was great. I'm not going to say it was terrible. It was all right. The Xbox showcase happened, and with this whole Starfield thing, I mean, disheveled is the best way I could put it. Just disassociating. Just, they can't believe it. I see nothing but terrible stuff. I feel like they were like closing their eyes and just screaming at the TV while this was happening for 45 minutes. It's like 45 minutes of pain. And somebody's just sitting there making accounts over and over and over. I can only imagine what's going on. So when you say something like mental health, yeah, it's a mental health issue for sure, I'd say, in a way. But at the same time, I know there's some people trying to get some clout out of it.
Yeah, I hate when they do that.
They're not having mental health issues at all. They're trying to like get, or maybe they do have mental health issues, but they're trying to use this as a launch pad into being noticed for being funny or being in so much more control than whatever, to feel like they have some sort of power narrative. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy for Xbox, and I mean, I feel like developers see stuff like this, and they're just like, this is why we don't take this kind of stuff serious. They see this and they're just like, this is why we shouldn't take things like Metacritic serious. We shouldn't take, some of these news sites serious, because they come out here and say bogus stuff, or they reveal who they really are when they came to save the day. If I remember correct, not that long ago when Sony was launching or some sort of game was coming out for Sony not that long ago, Metacritic, I believe, stepped in and said that they were doing something to make sure that the reviews were
Legitimate. Yeah.
Do you remember what I'm talking about? I feel like
I'm pretty sure that what you're talking about might have been for Horizon, that they stepped in.
They did that for The Last of Us as well. The Last of Us 2.
I'm telling you, I just think that I get a little bit of echo. I don't know, but yeah, I just think that for goodness sakes, like Metacritic just needs to do something. They need to say something to step in to seem legitimate for everybody instead of just
PlayStation. Yeah, no, I listen, dude. I agree. I the way they do it on Rotten Tomatoes. If you are a reviewer, you got to show the receipts. Like you literally got to take a picture of your movie ticket, and you gotta send it in, and it's logged, and it's legit. I don't know if they would ever do an extreme situation like that. They should if they want to be legitimate, because we've heard that some people's bonuses, I don't know if they do this anymore, were tied to Metacritic, right? We did hear that. But look, at the end of the day, Ham Solo, you like me are all in on this Starfield situation. We both can't wait to get into this. My brother's already told me. I said, what ship are you building, Neo? He goes, building? Are you kidding? I'm not building shit. I'm stealing everything. So my brother's gonna be a pirate, and I'm gonna be a lawman, and hopefully we don't meet.
Looks like they said the review is removed though.
Okay. All right. Maybe they did. Okay. Because again, I pulled
this
yesterday.
Down, yes.
They did take it down. Okay. So then Metacritic, congratulations. You actually did something. That's great.
Yeah. After everybody complained about it.
But you see, that's exactly the point, Dredd. Let's bring you in, Dredd, and let's get your hot take on Starfield. Again, I know there's been some controversy. 30 frames versus 60. There are some in the camp of 60 saying that this is unacceptable. It's a machine I paid $500 for. But I hearken back to listening to what Todd Howard and the team had to say. They could have done 60, but it would have not been a great experience. We want a great experience. And I'm sorry to say, and I'm not making excuses for Team Bethesda because I'm not on their payroll, but did you watch what we're seeing now? Did you see that gameplay at 30 frames? You know what? I'm okay with 30 frames. I'm okay because it's a big open world. They're trying to tell a cinematic, story-driven, narrative type of game. And did you see the gunplay? Straight up fire. So let's get your hot take on, because there were some other YouTubers that that are pretty popular with the kids that were out there claiming that. And again, we don't say who they are, folks, because we don't like to do that on this channel. That why are Xbox fans cheering Starfield isn't first party, it's Bethesda? And when I hear that, I'm like, folks, do you listen to yourself speak? Do you consistently embarrass yourself like that? I mean, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, but they think that they're right. Let's get your hot take on Starfield, and more importantly, the breakdown of the PlayStation community that have realized that they're not going to get this game.
Well, first of all, let's remember the instability of their mentality that I don't know if this isn't Xbox because it's Bethesda. Halo isn't Xbox. It's like you listen to some of it. Yes, some of it is basically grabbing attention, and unfortunately, people are at least some of them are getting smarter to like not address to who this person is that's saying this stuff. There's multiple people, but I saw a video and didn't address who this person was, and most people know, so they didn't have to go to the Twitter or their YouTube channel to see them causing a scene and trying to get views, because that's all they're doing is they're doing it for attention. To say that Halo is not Xbox doesn't make sense, okay? And that's the whole thing. When you do stuff like that, this is what you're doing. You obviously either are doing it for one of two things. You're mentally unstable because you can't handle the truth, or two, you're doing it for views because people are going to be like, no way that this is true, and you're getting those views and clicks. So that out of the way, we all know that Starfield has never been something that I was interested in. I'd say I'd try it out and play it, but after this reveal, after this showcase, holy cow, I can't wait to play it. I am definitely going for consolation, because I am just ADD with everything that I do when it comes to this part of gaming. That even with Fable, I'm usually a hero, but sometimes I do villainous things. Sometimes, so I feel like I'm going to be stealing a couple ships. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing that. So I will not fit into any one faction, but Constellation would probably be the more likely faction for me to hit. But when you look at the gameplay, the stuff that's going on, let's address the 30 frames per second. There is so much that they've done in this game, and they want a certain look. They want a certain feel. And this is what I'm saying. I don't care. Whatever it is, it is.
Yep.
If they want to build it to be 60 frames, they'll bring it up. Wait till the 10-year anniversary, and you'll get your 60 frames per second game.
Or they'll do what they did in other consoles. When a new console releases 5 years from now, they'll add a 60 frames, and again, you can't play it on PC and it's unlocked. So go crazy. You got a rig? Go effing crazy and play it at 120 frames.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, right now, do you want them to concentrate on frames, or would you want them to concentrate on the game and making sure that there's no glitches, no bugs, and that it's actually optimized as much as they possibly can with everything else? You got to remember, what we talked about, the mechanics of the gunplay, the mechanics of the storytelling, the mechanics of the planets, and the fact that they had to hand contour each planet. There's randomization with AI, but then they go through there and they control everything. They fine tune everything by hand. They're doing all this extra stuff. They have all this work that they're putting in there, and they designed it like this, right? So when they do this and they're saying, hey, look, I like it this way in 30 frames per second. This is Todd Howard saying it from the get-go, and everybody's saying it has to be this, it has to be that. Okay, so we're going to bring up Aaron Greenberg saying this is the new standard. We want everybody going forward. And then they say, but we're, on a follow-up tweet, days later, saying, but we still want the devs to do what they want to do, how they want to make the games. Okay, yeah, that's the standard. But in reality, this is how we want them to make the games that they want to make, because they don't want to stomp their foot down and say, this is how you're going to do this. And then you're not going to get the games the way you want it. You don't want, we're not going to get the games that these devs have designed it. It's like telling an artist, don't use that green paint. We don't like that green paint. We want to use an off green that's, I don't know, some sort of whatever name that you can put down there for off green, right? It's not going to be aquamarine. It's not going to be this. It's going to be this specific color, and you have to use it. Well, it doesn't go with the painting. Could you imagine the Mona Lisa with green lips? It wouldn't make sense, and you're saying, well, from here on out, it has to have this. Okay, well, let's let the creators be creative. Let them decide what they want in their games. I've been saying that from the get-go. I know that and this is going to bring in on the inclusivity, where we want, other gamers to, all gamers to be able to play. But sometimes certain games are just not going to be for everybody, and other gamers have figured out ways without that inclusivity to still, I don't know, be better than me. You're looking at blind gamers playing Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and they're blind. They're playing off of audio, no cues, no nothing, just everything that they know how the game is. And those games from back in the day never had any anticipation of any blind person or anybody with a handicap playing those games. It's always been an able-bodied person. So when you do this, there will be people that overcome, and there will be people that won't overcome. And this is the same thing with the devs. There will be some devs that can overcome the 60 frames per second hertz and say, okay, yeah, we can do this in our game because our game is not this technical. The more stuff you fit in this box, the less room you have for other things. So they have to figure out this box. Okay, you got a moving box, right? How much of your stuff can you put in that moving box to go to your new storage place, right? That's all. You think of your moving truck. You have to buy a 20-footer. Do you have to buy a 17-footer? Well, you only have access to a 17-footer. The rest of it's going to either end up in the trash, or you're going to figure out how to get it crammed in there, and you're going to optimize your Tetris skills from way back in the day and fill up that box truck. You know, so in essence, let them make the game. Quit complaining about what you want. It's not about what you want sometimes. It's about you either get something or you get nothing, right?
Yeah.
And I want them to create the best game that they can make. Let them make it. And if that's what they see is 30 frames per second, then so be it. And we know later on when they make if they ever make a Pro Series X or a Series XX, it will be able to handle it. And at that point in time, people are still playing Skyrim. I mean, think about it. People are still going back and playing Morrowind. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. You know, if that's what it's going to be, and you don't want to play at 60 or anything less than 60, that's your choice.
Well,
Just as
listen,
well as it's their choice
it's
to
safe
make the
to
way.
say, Dreadpool, that if you are in that camp, you own a PC. If you are a 60 FPS or bust gamer, let's be fair here, folks. If that is your mentality, you're a PC gamer. There's no reason to complain. Go play it on PC. You can have the exact same experience, except you'll have better frames. There you go. Problem
Exactly.
solved.
Play how you want to play, and if what it takes to get you to 60, spend the extra money and get a PC. Nobody's saying that you can't. And here's the best part, right? If you buy the game, okay, you still have access to it on your PC. And
There
if
you
you
go.
don't buy your game, it's on Game Pass. And if you have Game Pass, it's still available wherever you play. So again, it's not like you're spending that much more money for, like we had to do back in the day. If you wanted to play certain games, you had to buy it on every single platform that you wanted to play it on. So not
Yeah.
only are you double dipping or triple dipping, you're quadruple dipping, penta dipping, depending on however many devices you had.
Wow.
So
Listen.
think about that. We're in a digital age.
Yes.
Everything can shift over.
Well,
Back in the cartridges, you had to bring that cartridge with you if you're going to go to somebody's house. Now you don't have to.
Nope. Then you can simply just turn on the device, which I intend to play this game, Ham Solo and Dreadpool, on my ROG Ally with a controller, with Starfield controller probably, while Mrs. Boom and I are enjoying our Korean dramas as we watch each and every night, because that's just what we're addicted to right now. But let's bring in Web Dave. But Dave, before we do that, my goodness, the super chats are flying left, right, and center. And we even got a new channel member, Duty Paid. Brother, thank you so much for becoming a channel member. I do greatly salute the generosity. Gerald Mack drops an additional, very generous $5 super chat and says, the last 10 to 15 years, the gaming community has changed. A portion of the community has trained themselves to hate games. And it's sad but true. You know what, dude? I'm fortunate, and I say that with unbelievable humility. Not everybody can own every console, right? That is gaming is expensive, folks. It's an expensive hobby, and if money is an issue at home, the first things that usually go for you personally and potentially your family is entertainment, because entertainment isn't necessary to live. It just makes living fun. I have everything. I don't have a PC per se. I kind of do with the ROG Ally, because it's kind of like a real high-end PC, and what I'm playing on it now is just bonkers. But I'm very fortunate. Some people don't have that, don't have the spendable cash. But don't hate on a game because you just want to be a jerk. And that's unfortunately, like, again, I just was watching someone just DM me, and another very popular former Xbox dude turned PlayStation dude, which of course is okay. Be a PlayStation guy, gal, whatever. It's perfectly fine. But again, the rhetoric of, well, I mean, Dave, he goes on to say, well, I mean, you can say Microsoft made Bethesda, but did they really? And I'm like, what is happening?
I tell you what, Boom. That kind of stuff makes me so frustrated.
It does,
because
right?
it's just like
crazy.
It just makes me wonder if basic comprehension is like an issue, and it happens with the people that I even enjoy listening to sometimes. Like it's just like they're having an error with understanding that Xbox can do good things. And it's just like like I'm sure we're gonna get into it, especially with the whole Fable thing.
We
here in a
are. We're
little
gonna.
bit. It's just like
yeah.
it's just like so. It's just so cringe. They look at Xbox like it's like Tiger Electronics handheld or something like that, and it just can't.
I had
It
those
just
as a
can't
kid,
do
dude.
anything. Yeah, I mean, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So
I do.
like they're trying to compare it to that and then act like they got like a freaking movie theater and nobody else can get in.
It's a sad day when we can't just enjoy a game and celebrate the something that is going to come. Understand, folks, if you're having a hard time understanding the conversation we're having, Starfield is going to be genre changing. It is going to be generational, and we haven't even had it yet. I am telling you, they have confirmed that we are not going to be able to tell each other's the same story. We're going to find things. I may find a planet that Ham Solo, who spends 500 hours in this game, may never find. Think about that for a second. 1,000 planets are going to be available with consistent updates. He may find an armor set that I will never find. And I'm like, my God, that armor set, Ham, is incredible. Yeah, I got it on this planet. It was called such and such. Where'd you find it? Dude, I don't know. I was just flying all over the place, and I just came in on this planet.
That's gonna be my answer all the time. Is
man, I don't know.
It was in this galaxy over here.
Oh my
part
goodness!
Of the galaxy.
It's I'm giddy with excitement, folks. Like I have not been this excited for a game since like Resident Evil 2 remake or like Halo 3. I'm so into this thing. Like if I could wear a spacesuit when I was playing this, I'd effing wear a spacesuit. I would cosplay and play this game. That's how big of a nerd I am. But before we get to Dave, Chris R drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, I don't think it's fair to question Bethesda's polish. But Matt Booty already, I do think it's fair to question Bethesda's polish, and that's fair. But Matt Booty already said that Xbox convinced the team to take more time to make Starfield, because that is, in fact, correct. That was something that came out. They were, in fact, going to release it on 11/11, and Xbox was like, yeah, you know what? Just don't worry about a delay. We'll just, take your time with it and just keep polishing. And look what it is, folks. It just looks like, originally it was slotted as the Han Solo simulator. For me, it's going to be more like a Boba Fett simulator, even though I'm not a bounty hunter, but I will hunt some people. There's no doubt about it. I'll definitely do some bounty hunting if it's in there. That jetpack is dope. That's the first freaking thing that I am upgrading. We have Elemental Pio. What's up, dude? How the heck are you? He drops a very generous $10 super chat and says, happy Friday and pre-Father's Day. Yes, that is right. If you are a dad, happy Father's Day, man. Hopefully your family takes care of you the right way, because obviously, being a dad is a lot of work, and sometimes it gets unrecognized. And you know something, I do want to say one other thing. Thank you for bringing that up. To all the moms that are out there that are doing double duty, that are doing the dad work as well as the mom work, happy Father's Day and Mother's Day to you as well, because they also get overlooked. Because a lot of women have to do this joint solo, not because they want to. Things happen. People pass on. Relationships don't work on, and moms, we know, are some of the strongest people on the planet, and they do a double duty, and sometimes they get overlooked. Sometimes by them playing the dad role, it's just like, well, it's just mom. Happy Father's Day to all the moms that are doing double duty as well. Torino Johnson drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, after the showcase, I went and pre-ordered Starfield with upgrades. I'm already losing sleep with Diablo 4. I'll sleep in 2026. Too many games, LOL. Yeah, dude. You know what, Mrs. Boom and I, it's been a tough couple of weeks. Obviously, Monday threw us for a loop. We haven't even started Diablo. It's just, it is what it is. We'll get to it. I promise. Phanto Sir drops a very generous £2 super chat and says, last time I felt such hype, it was a run up to 11/11/11. I mean, and that's fair because this is going to be a big game, but after what we saw, I'm so glad they delayed it. Polga Bravo drops a very generous $10 super chat. Now, obviously, Polga, first of all, welcome to the program. I've never seen the name. If I haven't officially welcomed you, welcome to Double Barrel Gaming. Thanks so much for checking us out. And thank you, more importantly, for the generosity. They go on to say consistent 30 frames is better than 60 inconsistent. People don't understand that from a 30 to 40, there's not a lot of difference. And I absolutely agree with that. And again, Todd Howard said that. He said, we left a lot of headroom where we're going to lock it at 30. But when we ran it at 60, it just didn't run. You had pop in. They just didn't like the way that the experience felt. So I'm all for it. Sat Nist in the chat drops a very generous $2 super chat. I actually just saw that. And Starfield runs at 0 frames per second on the PlayStation 5. Oh my God, the messiness. There it is, folks. Thank you so much for that. Dave, let's get your hot take on this. Look, you're like me. You're fortunate where you support all the consoles because you are been gaming for a very long time. You have a very good PC that could run a game in 60 frames if you wanted. Let's get the breakdown of the community. Let's get your hot take on what you saw with Starfield.
Well, I thought it looked absolutely amazing, and you know, the whole thing about the frame rate to me personally, I'll make that decision when I'm playing it myself. When I see it in motion, when I see it looks, and only then. I'm not going to bitch or complain about it until then, because I really think that's where it's gonna be the deciding factor. And like you guys both have said, or all of us said so far, that if you need the 60, then play it on your PC. And because I know all of us have the rigs to be able to do that. And and if you can't, I don't know what to tell you. It's really that cut and dry for me. I know that there is some people that say, well, I can't play it at 30 because it makes me nauseous, makes me sick. And there are people out there that really does affect them. I have noticed a few people in the community that have come in and been like, well, that's crap, that's garbage, that's not. It is a real thing for people. Just because you're not affected by it doesn't mean somebody else isn't. And to call somebody out for saying it, that they would rather see it at 60 because it affects
Randolph
them
Thor, I think, gets sick
at
30 frames, right?
Yeah, he's vertigo extremely bad. Yeah, exactly. So I just think that's kind of a guys, be nice, as Colt would say. Off topic, off track. When you said about wearing your helmet, Mag, who friend of the
I saw
show,
that.
of course,
I saw the tweet.
He had a picture with him with that helmet on. Okay, and then if you go to Colt's Twitter feed,
Colt did a little bit of work there.
He took that picture and put it on the Starfield. It is probably the funniest damn thing I've seen in a long time. So yeah, so there you go. So Boom, I like to see you in that helmet. I'm waiting for it because I know it's available. we'll have to check you out when you get that on. But still, yeah, it's it's to each their own, kind of thing. If you can't play it then don't play it. It's really that simple for me. I'm not going to pass judgment on this until I actually see it for myself, and then I'll be an informed person. I think Boom. Hopefully, you got your early collector's edition like I did, so that we'll be able to play 5 days early. Definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be fun when it comes out. 60 frames, would love it. If it was if there was a choice, like a player's choice between a performance, or a graphical, that's fine. That would be cool too. But as of right now, they haven't announced that it's not available. Between now and the actual Gold launch date, there could be some more little surprises available. You just never know. And then a lot of people are saying it too. The modding community, That may be one of the first things that they really
Dude,
jump
they're
on to.
going to, within a week of this game, they're going to have it running at locked 60. There's no doubt about the modding community, especially, Dave, the Bethesda modding community. Some of these incredible talented people get hired by Bethesda.
Yeah, exactly. To me, Todd Howard, and some people call him God Howard, he knows
So
what
if
the
you
hell
listen,
he's
brother,
doing.
that's all for you.
Exactly. He knows what the hell he's doing, or he wouldn't be regarded as one of the better, developers, programmers, in the modern age. So I think let's wait for his game to come out and take a look at it. Let's see for ourselves before we start all this crazy backlash. And I know it makes good fodder, makes good show topics, and that's cool. And I don't mind talking about it. But for me, my personal opinion, my personal thing, I'm not going to make the decision until I see it firsthand and I'm playing it myself.
Listen, I couldn't have said it any better. First of all, before we bring Fuzzy in, hey, Crispy, what's up, dude? We're getting into some messy conversation, and look at you like a genie. You just showed up. How the heck are you?
And boom, the week I've had, it just is fitting that my phone was not properly charging, and I happened to finish Manifest at like 2:00 in the morning last night. So, I would have woken up if my phone was actually charging. So I am not in the chat because my laptop would not like me opening up another window and being in chat. So what's up, chat, and what is the up panel? And I'm happy to be here for the last hour. So
yeah, well, we're happy to have you, brother. Yeah, we're definitely happy to have you because we're going to get into your hot take on some of the shenanigans that's going on with Starfield. Some of the very popular YouTubers claiming that this is an Xbox first party, and then of course the Fable gameplay. Is it real? Isn't it real? Microsoft can't make a game this good. We're going to get into it. But Fuzzy, let's get your hot take on the Starfield situation. I mean, listen, folks. I don't have gameplay because I haven't played the game. This is why you keep seeing the Bethesda Direct. This will now be the sixth time I've watched it. Folks, just look at the freaking screen. If that does not scream, this is a game that I want to just dive into and forget anything else exists, okay, I hear you. But man, I this game just looks so good. It's so much to do.
Mhm.
What are your hot takes on some of the really, really disingenuine thoughts that people are putting out there on the socials?
It's part of the FUD that we kind of predicted that would happen after this game was shown off in all its glory, kind of thing. Like, there's just so many people that are going to, nitpick at it and, dog it, but yet secretly play it on their, new model Xbox Series S in black that they just picked up for probably the second or third time picking up an Xbox because they keep on, trading those. Oh, Xbox doesn't have anything for me. And they're going to wind up picking that up anyway to play this game, or play it on their $5,000 rig that they sometimes claim that they have. But uh, it's funny to me that people want to say that this isn't first party. But if Bungie's game, what was that, the Marathon? If that hits, oh well, that's definitely first party because only Sony can buy a first party and it be first party. But when Xbox does it, it doesn't count because, well, unless it's bad. Because sure enough,
Double
they counted
standards,
Redfall.
yes.
They were like, oh, that's definitely Xbox's fault, even though it sounds like Xbox kind of maybe ignored some of the stuff that dev needed as opposed to putting all their resources. They put all of the Xbox resources towards Starfield at that point in time to kind of get that game up and going and to the state that we see it today, type of thing. So for those that don't want to claim it as an Xbox first party title, great. That's fine. Live in your own little bubble. When the rest of the world realizes this is an Xbox first party title, because you can only play it on Xbox or PC or the quote unquote Xbox platform, then you can go ahead and talk to the brick wall that will probably listen to you better than people that know better. But it's just funny to me hearing the people saying that they're going to have their 25 accounts review bomb the game. It's like, oh, it's supposed to be revenge against what Xbox, quote unquote, Xbox did to, The Last of Us and Gran Turismo. No, knuckleheads. The people that downvoted that game or those games were actually PlayStation players. Like the people that were complaining about The Last of Us 2
Yes.
were actually the people that played the game or were of the PlayStation nation and didn't agree necessarily with some of the themes in that game or whatever. And when it came to Gran Turismo, people like myself that play the game weren't too happy about the microtransactions, weren't too happy about the cuts to winnings and all the underhanded things that they did to make it grindy. That was actual people that played the game. So it wasn't like Xbox created these accounts to downvote a game. Xbox players don't care about Gran Turismo. They got Forza. So what are we talking about here? But the showcase, that game, it finally has gaming media like, oh yeah, I probably need to sell my PS5. I mean, they're not going to sell their PS5. They'll probably just pick up an Xbox if they don't already have one, or
Yep.
they'll play it on their PC. But this is the game that Xbox needs. And while there was a lot of back and forth of, oh, is this Xbox's last hope? No, that we saw plenty of games at that showcase that show that it's, if anything, Starfield is kind of like the start of the millennial or millennium for Xbox, this go around for this generation and stuff. But awesome looking game. I'm just, like I said earlier, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to schedule my time. Like, we need to vote for 26-hour days so we can have at least a couple hours that we can dedicate to Starfield, an hour at least for Forza, and to continue playing Diablo and stuff. But yeah, for the most part, silly seeing these people lose their mind over this game. It's quite simple. Like they would always tell people for the PlayStation exclusives, just get an Xbox and problem
Just
solved.
buy an Xbox. There you go. Now we're
But,
talking.
But yeah, awesome game. Can't wait to play it. I'm not picking up the accessories just yet because I'm still debating on my next steering wheel setup. Definitely going with direct drive next go around. The Logitech
Nice.
one that I had, the force feedback, still pretty good. But yeah, I think it's time to step up the game and do direct drive. But man, I force powers in this game. Some people say Han Solo simulator. No, this is going to be a Jedi simulator if we can all figure out where you get those force powers. But yeah,
And I saw a
can't
lot
wait
of
to play this
pushback
game.
on that because some people are like, oh no, he just shut off the gravity. But here's the thing: he was walking in the gravity, and everyone else is floating. And people were like, well, no,
Exactly.
Boom, he's got magnetic boots. Listen, this is crazy. Don't fight me on this. There are powers like the shouts in Elder Scrolls. Just accept it. That's what I'm saying. Just accept it. I mean,
Yeah.
And the reach in this game has people doing is historic.
this
Yeah.
is going to be one of the
Oh,
most
yes.
special
Reaching.
games released in the last 2 decades, folks. I'm here to tell you.
Yeah.
This is going, again, I think one of the most powerful things that I've experienced as a gamer is talking with other gamers about a singular experience like a game and getting so many different takes from that game that just make you're just amazed at they could be telling you a story about the same game that you may never ever experience. That is what Starfield is going to bring to the table. But let's bring in Crispy Bomb, and then we're going to move on to the Fable topic because the Fable topic is absolutely out of control, folks. I have seen at least, and I don't have everyone here, I have some 20 plus developers from Playground Games all touting pretty much the same thing. Thank you for not thinking this is real. That's what makes this even more special. That's how we've heard about it. We've had everyone with their, with their magnifying glasses trying to find faults in this. It's ridiculous. But before we get to that, Crispy, what's going on with the anti-Starfield community? Can't they believe what we're actually seeing? Because I'm watching the same footage. This is now the 5th or 6th time that I've watched it, and I just sit back like this, and every time I see it, I see something different. Every time I see it, I get even more excited. Why can't they believe what they're seeing?
Because they're scared.
Yeah, that's a
These
good one.
we call them, and Boom gives me a lot of credit. I don't block a lot of these idiots that just go on tirades because just once in a while, Crispy Bomb isn't talking to a wall. And by the end of like multiple paragraphs of them going crazy about FPS, like it mattered when PlayStation 5 came out. Does anybody remember how those games launched? Were any of them 4K 30 when they launched right at the beginning? No, because they were running on PS4 as well. They updated them. Everybody remember? We get updates on some of these games. Some companies are just like, you know what? We're going to wait. A Plague's Tale Requiem. They decided to wait. They wanted to be more cinematic. Did anybody have a problem with it? No. Now, Bethesda is known for having games that do not look like this. Do we remember?
Yeah.
Okay, what we've played before? Because I remember. All right, they decided to go for visuals. They wanted to prove that Creation Engine 2 was not just some fluke. You understand what I'm saying? Does it have its Bethesda quirk there? Yes. But when you see and you stand out and you see these, people still don't believe it because it's from Bethesda. And that's the point. That's why they locked it at 30. You're either going to get the frames right off rip or 4K. They could have had it fluctuating, but probably this is where this year went, where they said, okay, we're going to focus on locking it at 30 because we want to show what we're actually like we actually did with Creation Engine 2 and that it actually looks more realistic than ever before. So why not lock it? And I get it. I get everybody thinking Aaron lied. You know, what did Phil say? How many times has Phil said, I'm not going to, did they make every third party say you got to lock it at 60? No. So why would they do that to Bethesda? And you have to also remember that I was one of the people that said it's not an Xbox problem. It's a Bethesda problem. They have a problem of getting that locked at 60. They're building more for a PC audience when it's all said and done. You know what I'm saying? So when Xbox wants a 60 FPS at 4K, they want a Gears 5. They want a Forza Horizon. You know what I'm saying? They want it locked. It doesn't go below 60. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that, you know, we see it all the time on the PlayStation 5. You'll have it just fluctuate. And everybody's like, oh, well, it's FPS. And I'm like, none of these are playing at 60 FPS at 4K. And I always hear No Man's Sky. Does No Man's Sky look like Starfield? I mean, how many
not on
gosh
best
darn
day.
oh, it has more worlds. It has more worlds. Does it have all these dialogue trees, all this customization, an actual story in it, really? I mean, are they adding stuff like that as it goes? Sure. And I give them a lot of credit. But to me, it's a pretty boring game compared to what Starfield's going to be. Okay. And that's me. I get it. But can we not use No Man's Sky? Because No Man's Sky does not look like this. So I just, they're afraid. They're afraid that, you know, they're going to go and buy an Xbox and they're actually going to enjoy something because they probably played a Bethesda title before. Okay, the game is insane. Like I did not think we were getting this. And I get you don't have you can fly out of it. They have to take things away to get the darn thing to run all over the place. And one of them is you can't fly your ship out of the atmosphere. Now you know that's going to get updated by some modder. So I don't know. Like this game has like infinite possibilities. You know what I'm saying? And this is a game that people are going to spend 10 years in. You know what I mean? So, I mean, what are you really asking? You know, are you asking that, you know, them to take away what they're always good at, getting you absorbed into a world? That's what you're getting. Are you going to get a, you know, 4K 60 FPS update for console at some point? Absolutely. And it could be a modder that they hire. They do it all the time. So you have to realize that, you know, this is such an open sandbox that for them to get to be 4K locked at 30 from what I saw in that Starfield Direct, I'm impressed with that. And now people are saying, oh, well, Digital Foundry. Have they played the game? Have they actually played the game? Or are they
Digital
going off the
Foundry is
stream?
their PlayStation apologists, brother. Sorry. They're smart.
You know, they said
Gotta
12,
take nothing away from them.
26, and I'm like, you're in a stream. How are you making that?
Yeah, it's
You know,
it's
so
it, you know,
I just the fake
it's
outrage
for
is
clicks, brother.
ridiculous, and
Yeah.
I feel like PC guys are losing it too. You know,
I don't know why. If you're a PC
but
guy
I'll
or
leave it at
gal,
that.
play it on
It
PC.
literally it sold me on why I bought an Xbox. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Yeah. So I mean,
No.
if you don't want to play the game, don't play the game. I don't care. It's a single player game. If this was like, you know, Forza Motorsport and they said this, okay, like let's have some outrage here. You know what I'm saying? But this is a single player experience. It's gonna have a little bit of issues. I mean, it's so huge. I mean, we've given them credit for much smaller games, you know, to say, hey, you know, like, oh, look at how big this game is. Well, yeah, look at how big this game is. So, you know, like,
Yeah.
like if it has little bugs, like they're saying, and it's locked 4K 30 on my Series X on my 4K TV, from what I see when I play it, and we get the controller in our hand, like Phil said, I'm all good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, listen, good stuff. And I'm glad that you're with us, brother. We're gonna get into the Fable shenanigans. Now, folks, look, obviously we have almost 700 people here, which is absolutely astounding. Please, if you're finding the channel for the first time, consider subscribing. We do this 5 days a week, 5 different shows, 5 different panels, all great content. I think you're gonna dig something here for sure. Of course, if you're already here, you're already enjoying the content, consider hitting the freaking like button. Don't worry. Every time you hit the like button, I don't send the bill. So hit the like button. But we got to get into this Fable shenanigans. Look, if there's one, I mean, there's so much to take away from this Xbox show. I mean, I've heard many takes. You know, I've listened to the Iron Lords. I've listened to Mav and the crew. I've listened to Pong Soul and Steel and Everborn, and of course Keosante. And I've listened. You know, you've heard from Rand, you've heard from Jez, you've heard from Dealer, you've heard from Occult. I mean, I've listened to tons and tons of opinions about the show, and some people have it higher than others. For me, I gave it promptly an 11 out of 10 because it was 11 out of 10. And others gave it a little bit lower for something like Senua not having combat gameplay that a lot of people like myself were hoping for. But if there's one unbelievable, like holy S type of moment for the showcase, it's literally the opening trailer in Fable. I mean, the debate that is currently going on is laughable, folks, at best, that this can't be. Xbox can't make games this good. Who's Playground Games? They've never made a third-person action adventure game. How could this be real, folks? Look, go to the interwebs, do some research. First of all, don't be a boob. Don't put yourself out there on the socials like some of these other very, very popular YouTubers that have just destroyed all credit they've ever had, saying that this wasn't real, because the developers at Playground have come out and confirmed what was gameplay, what was an in-game action going on, like when the giant is slapping his hand and she puts the mousetrap on the hand. That's an actual gameplay situation happening. You're not controlling it. Like a lot of the times you're not controlling things in Spider-Man. I don't know. God of War, when these big things are happening, they're in game. It's gameplay. It's happening. And then you're reacting to it. I mean, who didn't see her in the forest throwing a fireball or slamming a guy on the floor? I don't understand how much more that you need, but some of the copium that's going on, that you're not going to have this on a PlayStation, is just to the point of embarrassing. Like, if you're out there trying to trash this game because it's not real, you probably should delete your account, because you're just embarrassing yourself. I'm going to say that. And if you're embarrassed, and if I'm talking about you, then you probably should be embarrassed, because I wouldn't point you out personally, but you know who you are. You know how you're acting out on these Twitter streets, and you should logistically be ashamed of yourself. But Sith Lord drops a channel message. He goes, first of all, he's been a channel member for 14 months, so thank you so much for that. He says, if Starfield plays almost perfect, it was worth the delay. I'm sure Phil Dominus, Maximus Aurelius Spencer knew the risks versus the rewards for the delay 1,000%. We also have, let's see, you got some more channel. We got some more super chats that came in here. We have Mike Clark drops a very generous additional $5 super chat and says, I'm not building S. It's Pirate Life for me. Great show as always. Thanks again. Heard from Shooter. I actually talked to him on Twitter. Yeah, the other day. He's doing good. Shooter is doing good, brother. So yep, he's still with us, thankfully. He actually reached out to me because he heard I was in the hospital, which is pretty nice if you consider that he hasn't been doing so good. So big shout out to Shooter. He says, have to run. We'll finish listening later, brother. Enjoy your day. Be safe. Elemental PO drops a very generous additional $5 super chat and says, if Starfield is CPU bound like Digital Foundry says, PC might have a tough time hitting a consistent 60, even with a nice GPU. No, yes, that is an absolute fact. It's coming now. We're starting to hear some things that even if you have a monster rig, it may, because it's so big of a game. There's so many systems on, piled on top of each other that it just may not hit 60. That's a design choice, folks. That's an artist saying this is what I want to put out there. If you don't want to buy the art, don't buy the art. I don't know what to tell you, but let's get to Ham Solo. Let's talk Fable. Let's talk about the ridiculousness from so many. And again, no names to be mentioned here. Wow. I mean, talk about a way to start off a show. I mean, you start off the show with Fable, which we've all been wanting. They teased it with the fairy dust. And then they closed the show with Clockwork Revolution, another banger exclusive. But keeping with Fable, my God, Ham Solo, this is what we've all been asking for. This is the Cognito hashtag just one. What are your hot takes on some of the nonsense that's going on, trying to discredit the people making this game?
I mean, it just goes to show you that it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what Xbox wants. I mean, or what Xbox does. All these people have been walking around wolf in sheep's clothing for a long time, talking about, oh, we just want Xbox to do better. Oh yeah, like I'm just looking out for you. I'm looking out for the little ones. I'm looking out for the people out there that really just want good games. Like, no, you're not. Cut the cap. You don't care about nobody out here. You just want Xbox to do bad, but you want to look like an innocent person at the same time. And so, like, now that Xbox is starting to do good, it seems like it's going to like like full fledged ahead on all stops. Like we gotta just find something to be mad about with this game or something. And to me, I don't think it's necessary. Like, I 100% think that this new Fable game looks phenomenal, and I'm wondering how wild it will actually end up being. Because if you remember, if you played Fable, like for instance, in Fable 1, when you're in the Coliseum area and you're doing like the rounds of fights versus different people. I don't know if anybody on the panel remembers that part or whatnot, but when you're doing the rounds of fighting, there ends up being a part where you're fighting like a rock golem kind of thing, and it's like throwing rocks at you. And the thing that you're supposed to do to be able to knock it out or whatnot is to volley it back and forth. Um, so I'm wondering if like mechanics like that are going to be in a game like this, because that would be crazy. I mean, we've seen some pretty wild stuff in games. Sure, like Tears of the Kingdom does some pretty wild stuff. Um, uh, was it Hogwarts does pretty wild stuff, but if I could imagine seeing the kind of fidelity that I seen for this game and having like a racket or some sort of weapon in my hand and I'm still to this day volleying back and forth a rock versus a golem, and not like that would just be wild to be able to see. And it looks like that game's gonna have um, some really dope kind of well, what would you call it? Like when you break the rules, or if you like look good, or like reactions from people around town.
Yeah, yeah.
The-
When you do so, when you talking
I
about like
forgot
you
what
do
that
something,
system's called.
you do something heroic versus something like distasteful.
Exactly.
It's what the heck? I know what it is too, because they use the similar thing with uh Jade. What was it? It was
Morality. Thank
morality.
you.
There you go.
It's the morality system.
Yep.
Somebody in the chat said shout out to Tondo.
Nice.
But yeah, so I just can't wait for that game. I beat 1, I beat 2. I'm a little over halfway into 3.
He's the weakest of
And I
the weakest. Yeah, it's the weakest of them
and,
all.
yeah, I didn't. Yeah, 3. Like that was the first one that I played that I put down. Like like 1, I played it until I beat it. 2, the motion blur was something, but it
Yeah,
was good, because it just didn't age the best.
right.
It didn't. I mean, you got to remember this is a super old game, so that didn't age the best. But I tell you what, the game was. Here we are talking about like what 30 FPS again. The game was so fun. I beat it. It didn't matter.
Right.
It was fantastic. I was sitting there chopping the wood, getting the money, like just my fingers was bleeding. Like I was loving that game. But but yeah, it was fantastic. So, but yeah, 3 was the first one I put down. So I'm hoping that this one kind of takes what 1 and 2 did for me and put it on, a platter, and just have it with this new juicy looking, I mean, heck, if they're gonna make it look that dang good, I don't know, Boom. I don't know what to expect. I really don't, because that game just, I mean, not only is this game Fable what it is, but it's also done by a totally different developer
Yeah.
now,
Yep.
right? And and I already know that they can flex out the games that they're used to, but any kind of skepticism that we had, and I think this kind of ties back into this whole situation that we're talking about, is that fanboys and all these people had this skepticism, and skepticism is totally fine. But now, like, you know, the pizza's here, or like, it's
I
on the
love it.
table.
The pizza has
And
been delivered. Start
yeah,
eating, damn it.
it's delivered, and you opened up the box,
I
and you're
love it.
just like, that looks too damn good. That looks like a commercial. That looks fake. And they're like, nah, that's what it looks like. You can see it. It's right in front of you. And they're like, I ain't gonna believe it until I taste it now. Like it's right in front of you. And
Yeah.
now they don't want to believe it until they taste it. So
And
like
you can
it
smell
is
it.
what it is.
You probably could smell it. Absolutely. It better be a good pizza. Listen, great stuff as always. Again, this is one of those games for you, Ham. So like myself, we're gonna dive in and we're just gonna go to town and we're gonna get lost and we're gonna go to left, right. We're not we know we gotta go here, but I'm not going there because over there is calling. I know how you gonna play this game.
Boom. Boom. Remember, just you guys remember, if you're Fable fans, you remember going from swinging a sword to throwing fire, and then somebody's creeping up behind you, and you put the gun on your shoulder and shoot backwards.
Yeah, dude. So
Boom.
many memorable moments.
Like to put something like that into now sounds just amazing.
Yeah, and it could be one of those games that rival God of War, Horizon, Last of Us, you name it. They've had a lot of amazing games. Let's bring in Dreadpool. Dreadpool, what is your hot take on the controversy of real versus not real? Because I mean, it's apparent. It's very easy to see what the gameplay is, and the fact that there are people trying to defend their position on this is, again, it's one of those embarrassing moments. You're like, man, I don't get it. Like, what are you winning trying to prove that your point is correct?
Yeah, people are idiots. Again, it's I'm your savior. I'm gonna stop you from doing something bad. And no, you're not my savior. You're not my anything. You're just another voice on YouTube. You're just another voice out in the atmosphere. That, yeah, again, listen to the people that you guys respect, not to these hooligans that are just I don't know, false prophets per se, because it's all about them. It's not about the game. It's not about anything else. When you look at it, yeah, there's certain spots that weren't gameplay, but there was gameplay in there. Maybe 5 seconds worth, whoopee doo, but there was a difference when you look at this. So when you have people that are, again, oblivious to what realism is, and not wanting to admit what they see, like, this is all CGI right now. We're watching, right? This is fake too. Is that what you're saying? That this is not pre-recorded for us to watch? That's not Todd Howard? Is that what you're saying? Again, that's the mentality that these people are having. They don't want to admit anything, that undermines their narrative. And if a game looks good, a game looks good. And this is, when you look at Fable, it's a great blend of reality and fantasy when you look at it. It's hyper realistic in the faces. I know she's less than beautiful for you guys, but when you see the visuals of the actor, the giant, and you see what he actually looks like, it is spot on. And unfortunately for the actress, they didn't do. I mean, she looks like that, but they didn't do a good job of that. You know, but it is what it is. You guys are clamoring that you don't want hot babes in skimpy outfits. Well, this is what you're getting. You're getting people that are more realistic, more real life. Some nuances don't transfer over sometimes when it comes to facial features or any of that stuff. So you gotta be a little bit more reasonable and quit nitpicking over little tiny details. Besides, you're not going to be, if you are playing her, you're not going to be looking at her face most of the time. You're going to be looking at the action. You're going to be looking from behind her as you're running to the path you're going. You're following the trail. So reality is you're not going to be looking at much of it other than when they go into sequences and stuff like that. And this is still early. Like I said, I'd play it right now if I could. And I would be fine with it because I'm such a huge fan that I'll take all the flaws that it has. But when it comes to the actual meaning of life, when it comes to Fable, forget about it. Just let them take their time. Let them, when they're ready, show us what they got. And they've shown us what they've got so far, and it looks really good, and we've already said it before. You normally are able to choose male or female in the second and third one. Now you can also, as you get older, if you're a teen or younger, and as you get older, you can start changing your hair, your features, and part of the morality system also changes your features. So when it comes to all this, it don't pay any mind as to what she looks like or any of that stuff. And I see people are saying right now she's gorgeous. I'm not saying she's ugly. I'm just saying people are nitpicking at her looks, and you shouldn't be doing that. That's what I'm getting at.
No, I mean,
Now,
listen, it's a great point.
Weird.
yeah, it's so weird that you're gonna, it's like you nitpick somebody in a movie when they're wearing prosthetics and stuff, and you're nitpicking about their looks, and then you see them outside of it, the movie, and you're like, oh, this is what she really looks like. Well, wow, I didn't think she'd look like that. That's the mentality, is people are nitpicking over stupid stuff that does not need to be nitpicked. You know, is the game broken? That's what needs to be nitpicked. You know, stuff like that. Is this unplayable? Stuff like that needs to be torn apart. Not something that's shown to show you and give you an idea of what they are going for with the visuals. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was some of the facial features on her, they did less than acceptable, I guess, for most people, but don't nitpick on it. It is what it is. It's still in progress. They
Well,
will
at the end of
fix
the
a lot of
day,
this stuff.
they will. At the end of the day, it's a game. People need to stop the nonsense. But
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Dredd, good stuff as always, brother. And again, I'm so glad that you were here, and of course, more important that you're freaking well, because that was a hell of a scare. We were talking to
Yeah.
DMs, especially all those tests. But we're glad to have you here, brother. I'm glad that you're well. I want to bring in Web Dave. Let's get your hot take on the shenanigans known as the Fable controversy, real versus fake, and I mean, there are people really digging their heels in the sand for this, and we saw it. And I keep saying, I don't know how much more proof that you need when you go and you see someone say, "Hey, I got a chance. I worked on that, and I work at Playground Games." You go and you look at their bio, and then if you want to be super, the world's greatest detective, you take the person's name, you go to LinkedIn, you say, "Oh, look, they are with Playground Games. They're not BSing." Dave, what's happening?
I had no idea. I mean, we all know that the friend of the show, 3-Bit, actually has worked on this game, and he can vouch, for the gameplay and the credibility he has on several podcasts. It's just I do believe that most of the quote unquote backlash or the downplay are people that are not happy that Xbox is succeeding, and that's what it comes down to. It's that it's their pettiness, and it's their, oh, see, it's not, and it is real. Even Phil, when he was being interviewed by Grub and the staff, I can't believe it was Tommy. I can't remember the other guy's name that was on the show, and he made the comment about not seeing real gameplay, and Phil's like, no, that was real gameplay. He made a point right there on the show to call him out and say, no, it was, you saw real gameplay. So it's sad on some people's point. I just that you can tell there are elements of gameplay in that for sure. I mean, you may not see a HUD, but it's not meant to do that. It's showing the assets in the state that they're in, and those the people that worked on that, like I can hardly wait to be kicking chickens and everything else in the game. It's going to be fun. It's going to be absolutely fun. And the actress, they're all over the internet now. She's absolutely beautiful, and they didn't,
she is.
That's the look they were going for because of the storyline. So it's to me, it's like, it's whatever. It's going to be awesome play. I can't wait to play it. She looks beautiful, and man, it's game on. This is going to be great. This game is going to be so much fun to play. It brings back the nostalgia feel, plus with all the modern day mechanics and all the new systems that are in place, and the quality of gaming compared to to when Fable and them were made originally. This is going to be absolutely off the chain. It's going to be so much fun to play, and gameplay. Yeah, that was some real elements of gameplay, and even the part with the quote unquote giant. I mean, that to me looks like elements of gameplay, things you'll be doing in that scene, and of course we'll find out as it comes out. But yeah, I'm really excited for Fable. I'm really excited for it, and it's sad that that there's the people out there like that, but I believe that most of the people that are making this kind of commentary are grasping at straws, and they're doing it because they're either fanboys or they're just not happy with the fact that Microsoft is taking a turn and doing a much better job, and they are definitely on their way. Are they going to be the number one gaming company in the world tomorrow? No, but maybe someday. To keep doing things like this and to keep working toward that goal, they'll get where they need to be.
Just keep delivering what we saw at the showcase. If that comes to fruition and we're playing that on the Series X's and Series S consoles, there's not going to be a conversation. And again, once ABK is done, which we know that that should
Very
be
soon.
pretty soon actually. Microsoft is going to be wrapping that up with the FTC and court in next couple of weeks. We know that if you haven't been following it, maybe you got tired of it. The FTC tried to fight getting additional days for evidence for Microsoft and Activision, and she denied the FTC's request. And she agreed that it was important to Microsoft to be able to tell their story, and they gave them from 2 days to 5 days. And believe it or not, they still feel that they don't have to prove why they want to block this deal, which is crazy. Like, I couldn't believe I actually saw that written, but that's what they think. But let's continue, folks. We're going to get out of here.
Last thing on that, Boom,
Yeah.
is that the judge can actually make her ruling at any time during this hearing. She can actually just stop it and make her ruling and either dismiss it or call it, whatever she wants. And then it's the game on, ball rolling.
But, I mean, all they need to do is just make sure that there's not an injunction that the judge authorizes.
Right.
The
she can
injunction.
completely stop that.
Yeah, if she doesn't, like she did with the gamers lawsuit, if she turns around and says there's not enough evidence and there's no immediate harm and there's no harm to PlayStation, there's no console SLC, there's no cloud SLC, the EU passed it. It's going to wind up. She's going to wind up saying the same thing. I'm not granting the injunction, and at that point, I think it's 48 hours afterwards, 2 days afterwards, Microsoft could close. And they probably will close right then and there. They'll close before the July 18th date, which is when that's the last day of the contract signed between Activision and Microsoft. More than likely, you'll see this early July. I don't know if before July 4th, but maybe right after. But Fuzzy Belvedere, we lost you and we got you back, brother. Let's get your hot take on Fable, brother. I mean, there's a lot of controversy. I don't understand why people can't just enjoy what we're seeing. Yes, Microsoft has made some mid games, but you can't deny they've made some bangers. They have, and this appears to be one of those another generational type of games that is going to come out, that is going to change hearts and minds, but maybe not everybody's hearts and mind.
Well, I think the thing that's funny is people doubted their ability to make a good-looking game, but yet we have Forza Horizon 5 and all the previous Horizons as examples.
What about Gears 5? Everyone seems to skip over Gears 5. Did you not think that was amazing?
Yeah, but like for just this studio alone, it's like if people just look at Forza Horizon 5 when that was first announced and shown, and how real the environment looks, even to this day. And they've actually improved it even for PC as far as like the ray tracing and ambient occlusion and things along those lines. But they made an awesome looking game, and it was just an open world car game. So why do people think they can't make a good like open world game in general? I have no idea. But when it comes to the critics, as far as the look of the character, wait, hold on one sec.
Meow meow meow,
your
Miss
cat's
Kitty.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think your cat's trying to tell you Playground Games.
I love that.
Can't make anything
great. I love it.
I love hearing the cat.
Yeah, no,
if they can't make anything but skinny jeans on guys.
Yeah, I mean that's what they had on their character models for the car game. But for those complaining about the look of the character in Fable, it's like, all right, are we 12? I mean, I remember way back playing Tomb Raider early on with the the kind of like the bullet bra that they had the character with. It's like it's a character. You're playing as the character. You have the ability to adjust the look or pick the character as far as their initial appearance and things like that. I wouldn't worry about the fact that it doesn't look like a princess or Cinderella or something, considering you're supposed to start off from like the bottom and work your way up kind of deal. But that it just seems silly to me. It's like, oh, this character is ugly. It's like, and not to point fingers at the person, but it's like the person themselves isn't the skinny jeans model that they should be if they're going to critique how a in-game character looks type of deal. But yeah, the game looked phenomenal. Never doubted for one moment as far as Playground Games' ability to deliver an excellent looking game, and just happen to know somebody in the community, like Web Dave was saying, that has worked on the game, and he didn't spill the beans on the game, but what he did give us as far as insight is like you're not going to believe how good this thing looks, kind of thing. And he left it at that. And I always assumed, well, the environment, because of Playground Games, is going to look awesome. And I figured they were going to have like stylized characters, and they went more for the photorealistic aspect. So it definitely surprised me as far as the overall look, because I was expecting, more uh uh a stylized type of deal for the characters. But man, they did a bang up job. Yes, there's gameplay. You could see when she throws the fireball, you can see some of the combat, and it's like nobody ever says this when you can clearly see the QTE moments in other games on the other platform. But it's like, oh no, that can't be gameplay. No, that's all CGI. And it's like, seriously,
Love it.
come on. It's like, well, then I guess all of the CT or QTE moments in your favorite platforms games are CGI as well. I don't know. And it just cracks me up hearing people complain about complain about a game that they don't even have in hand. But when you see it and they tell you, hey, it's in game, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe wait until you have it in hand and be like, oh, it's a downgrade. Well, then stop playing it on the low settings or whatever. Don't play it on your potato PC that can't hit 1080p or whatever. Play it on an actual series console, or play it on something that meets the minimum required specs kind of deal. But I don't know. It's just funny to me seeing people look at Xbox games as if they don't have the talent or the know-how to make good looking games. First of all, they recruit people from other studios, and secondly, like you said earlier, the Gears of War, like the Coalition in general, are probably the kings of Unreal Engine, more so than Epic themselves. So it's funny just seeing people with their mental gymnastics trying to say, oh yeah, there's no way it's real. And it's like, oh, yay. Eat your crow when the game comes out and move on, or just be stuck on your favorite platforms games and hope that they continue making the single player games instead of the games as a service that apparently that side of the fence doesn't seem to like as much. But it was an awesome showing. Silly people out there, just ignore them. Don't pay them any mind. They're still bickering about GT7 versus Forza Motorsport 7, like now almost a 10-year-old game in comparison to something that just recently came out, and it still matches it. And then when you have the new one coming out right around the corner, and they're like, oh, see the mouse cursor? Oh, what about this? And it's like you watch the video at 480p on YouTube, and you're comparing it to an in-game picture. Good job. Here's your cookie, kind of thing. But I've rambled enough. I'm sorry.
No, listen, this is a conversational podcast, brother. We're here for it. Let's get a Crispy Bomb, who joined us late. Thankfully, he joined us at all, because I was like, maybe he went camping. Maybe he did get out on vacation, but turns out his cell phone threw him for a loop. Crispy, let's talk about the hateration that's going on right now with Fable. I mean, just by this show alone, it should have, by all rights, proven everybody wrong. And mind you, we still don't know what Gear 6 looks like. We don't know what State of Decay looks like. We don't know what Contraband looks like. We don't know what Perfect Dark. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. But what we did see are generational leaps in gameplay, Starfield, generational graphics that we've never seen before in racing, except for when they did it before in Forza. Then we get a chance to see the third person action adventure, God of War esque type of game in Fable. It's not good enough. We see that they have a partnership with LucasArts, not only to bring Star Wars and have the marketing for Ubisoft's game, but they also have Monkey Island coming into Sea of Thieves. Then of course you talk about what we just saw, South of Midnight, incredibly in-engine game. That game is going to be like motion capture, like Coraline type of gameplay. And every game that they showed just blew us away. Now, granted, there's some service games in there that maybe some people don't care about, but they have 10 million plus players. I'm talking about Fallout 76. I'm talking about Elder Scrolls Online. There were a few, but this whole Fable thing is just, it's pathetic, dude.
Oh, the copium. Isn't it funny, Boom? Isn't it funny? You wanted Microsoft to compete, didn't you? I just want Microsoft to compete. I couldn't believe I've watched all the different, the crying, the coping. Oh, like, oh, Microsoft, that's not gameplay. Like even that, Giant Bomb. Oh, it's no, there's gameplay in there, bro, and it's actually was running on the Series X from what the dev said. So how about them apples? You're gonna get a Fable Direct like Starfield. Okay, you're gonna get this is the formula now. Starfield Direct, like they did it at the show, because this is how good the game is. You know what I'm saying? This is how big and massive and system seller this game is. So yeah, Starfield Direct right after the main show. But you're probably gonna get a Fable Direct now. You're gonna get a Forza Motorsport Direct. Okay, this is gonna be the new state of play, but they're just gonna call it one game direct. Maybe they have like a cool like skin or something they gave you or something for watching it, something like that. You're gonna get stuff like that now. Okay, they found a formula. We finally asked them to listen to us. They listened to us. The pacing on the show, like everybody's like that was the most impressive thing. Okay, you had Sarah, who I truly believe in within 2 years is going to be taking over for Phil at this point. You had Sarah start it, Phil end it. Games.
No
Yeah, you had
talking
some
too,
service
brother.
games
Hardly
in
any
there.
talking.
Dude, and
They let the
cringe
games do the talking, Crispy.
transitions. They let the games do the talking. Exactly. You saw anybody that's bringing up anything at this point, you're getting answers from devs now. They're not being quiet no more, people.
Yep.
Okay. This was if you're gonna have a show, an Xbox showcase that's a 10, this is a 10. Fable had gameplay in there. Okay, they flashed it at you. They have more to show you. Okay, Playground is an S tier, people. They are with the coalitions. We used to think Halo, we used to think 343 was S tier. They fumble a little bit with Infinite, but I thought that game, the single player, looked ridiculous, and the multiplayer runs as smooth as butter, people. And if you haven't played it because you've heard the bad things, you are sorely mistaken. They still are an S tier studio. Okay, they might have been in shambles, but we have S tier studios, and they are going for something whimsical. Okay, I think the look was on purpose for her, by the way, because I've played a few Fable games over my lifetime, and yeah, I mean, this one's probably the best looking as far as characters are concerned. All right, so let's be frank here, and also, if this is what it is, a true Fable game, you're going to be able to create your own character. So we'll see more about that, I'm sure, but they're only going to give you what they want to give you now. Okay, and that's the point. You have all these games to show. Let's not, Starfield took the show at the end, but while this show's going on, let's not take too much from each game. These games can speak for themselves. You will be more interested. This is what we're doing. We're going to be as honest as we can, saying if it's in engine, if it's in game, if people are asking questions, answer them. That's what I'm seeing now. Okay, so what's the problem? Are you just mad that Xbox actually got their head out of their butt? Did you
They're
think
mad they're
that
competing,
we sat
bro?
here, I mean, seriously, Boom. People sat here and said, "Oh, you guys just have this unfathomable faith." Well, I see that all the time on the PlayStation side, and I always say, people are starting to say, "Oh, well, exclusives aren't." All of a sudden, this narrative starting to switch. Boom. Isn't it entertaining to you? Because it is to me.
It is.
I'm the type of person that I've always said I am an Xbox gamer because of an exclusive, Gears of War. Now, do I love the Xbox ecosystem now? Yes. But I originally got an Xbox 360 because of Gears of War. Exclusives do matter. And people are hurt that these games aren't coming to PlayStation. Yeah, sorry. Go buy the Series S. Now you can't say nothing about the storage with the 1 terabyte. I mean, look at the narratives Phil destroyed. Okay. He likes to destroying narratives with just a cheeky smile. You know what I'm saying? So just think about it. We got what's coming next year, and then you're going to find out more about what's coming the year after that, and the year after
Yep.
that, and you don't know. Could it be Perfect Dark? Could it be State of Decay 3? Could it be something maybe that Gears is, the coalition's maybe not making the Gears like, or they're going to drop two things at once? Because I'm going to tell you right now, the credit that's been coming out about the coalition, I don't
Oh, dude,
know.
it's
I think they've touched
crazy.
a lot of games that people don't even realize. And I think they are becoming like one of those studios that is like the technical definition of making realism. You know what I'm saying? So when you hear that they went to, slip space for a little while to help with, with that 343, like how good are these guys if they can go to different engines and help? So I'm super interested in what's to come, and this is just a start. So get used to it. Buckle up, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, and again, I think to close out the show, I think the biggest takeaway, not so much the walk away, is the takeaway from the Xbox show is not only showing what's coming this year, but they gave you this was an E3 of old. This gave you current, this gave you next year, and this gave you a look into the future, and everything looked phenomenal. And you heard Phil Spencer, you actually heard Matt Booty, where he was interviewed, where he said, "Listen, what we know, what we're going to do moving forward is we're going to bring the games, we're going to bring the gameplay, and it's going to be in-engine gameplay, and we're going to show it off." And that's what they're going to do. And they specifically made mention of that. In the next 18 months, you're going to get a chance to see State of K3. You're going to get a chance to see Perfect Dark, as well as all of these developer directs for games that are coming out. I mean, you're going to get a developer direct for Avowed, no doubt. You're going to get an event, a Fable. There's no doubt. Whatever big game is going to be coming out, you're going to get a 45-minute direct, very similar to what you saw with Starfield. But folks, let me just read off the last two super chats, and then we'll get everyone out of here. We had Torino Johnson drops a very generous additional $5 super chat and says, "Boom, glad you're okay, brother. Thank you so much for that." He says, "If Bethesda isn't Xbox first party, then Naughty Dog isn't Sony first party. Also, people don't realize that movies are at 24 frames per second." Yes, that's absolutely correct. And Tim the Sorcerer, Tim, what's going on, brother? He drops a very generous £2 super chat and says, "Community member 3-Bit worked on Fable." Indeed, he has. And you know something? True to his word, he's told me, all he's ever told me is, "Boom, when you see this game, when people see this game, they're not going to believe it." He told me that months ago. Again, I've made mention of it. I just never said who it was, but he's been out there talking. People know he worked on Fable. He hasn't never spilled the beans. All he's ever said is, when people see this, they're not going to believe it. And sure as snow, exactly what he said. There are people still to this day, Friday, today, trying to, sniff out the lie, if you will. It's hilarious. But let's get everyone out of here. We'll start first with Dreadpool. Obviously, I don't know what you got in the pipeline, but obviously, Dreadpool, I'm going to bring up your stuff as I always do. And you can find Dreadpool at youtube.com/Dreadpool. You can find him at Twitter at Dreadpool, TikTok at Dreadpool. You can find him at hover.gg at Dreadpool. And of course, you can find him here Friday mornings on Breakfast with Boom. And of course, you can find him on Wilmy Hood's sensational podcast known as Gaming Beyond the Box, Sunday, 7 p.m. Brother, sell your brand. Talk about breaking bread with Dread, where they can find it, where they can subscribe, and more importantly, reach out to you on social media.
Yes, first and foremost, I'd like to thank everybody that's here in the chat. I'd like to thank everybody in the community for supporting all of us here. Again, it's a pleasure to be here and share my time with you guys. And it's always you don't realize how much you miss stuff like this when you don't think that you might not be able to make it. So again, Breaking Bread with Dread. I'm still working on the last episodes because obviously the situation, I haven't been able to work on it, but I plan on working on it today and hopefully get some audio out there for you guys to enjoy sometime soon. And shortly thereafter, we'll get the videos out. and we got some other stuff planned for you guys. So just keep out on the shorts and on videos. So you never know what you'll see. But again, thank you.
No, thank you, brother. Definitely, I did not think you were going to be here, but you're a super trooper, brother, and we definitely appreciate you being a part of the show. Shout out to Boss Mod Lethal Papa, keeping the trolls away as he does in the most professional manner. Lethal, love you, brother. Thank you so much for always helping out in the chat, and obviously he's literally the best mod in the business. Ham Solo, brother, let's sell your brand. Let's talk about the best place to get anything and everything in gaming. Obviously, TSWS Gaming, you're a big part of that. You are obviously the host. Let's talk about it. Where could people come there when you got your show, when they can subscribe, and more importantly, reach out to you on social media?
Yeah, so yeah, I'm mainly on Twitter when it comes to like just talking and conversating. Like that's where you can get at me. You can hit me up to be on my show. I mean, if I'm pretty open to talking to a lot of different people. Boom knows.
Yep.
I've talked to a ton of different people. I've had Seamus Blackley on the show, RGT85, John Linneman from Digital Foundry, whether you like him or not. And I've had tons of those type. I've had tons of different types of people. Whether you love them or hate them, I've talked to them. I've tried to be kind of the middle ground where we can just kind of talk and just be honest. I mean, I've had King David on, and I've had like Jay Barry on as well, and he's big into PlayStation and stuff like that. So we either you love them or hate them. I come out there and I actually talk to these people, see what they do in gaming and whatnot, and what they like, whatever. But bro, I literally just got partnered today.
Oh, good for you, brother.
On YouTube. So
nice.
I'm very happy with that. Please come through, check out the channel. I do shows for the most part Tuesday through Friday, but every other week me and K Mega go back and forth from my channel to his channel, and we do a show together every Monday. It just depends on the week on which channel we're going to be on. But yeah, check out TSWS Gaming. Hopefully it's in the chat.
The link's in the chat.
And
yes.
yeah, it'd be fantastic. You guys come check me out.
It's in there.
And see what it's all about. See if you see some people you want to see the background on. It's very similar to what Web Dave kind of does, but I kind of have my own spin on it.
Oh, I love your show. Man. That's awesome.
Some of the episodes, man, like I don't even mean for them to be long. They just go that way. Like Seamus Blackley, me and him just talked for 2 hours. He was talking about my wife, and I was talking about his bread.
I love it. That is awesome.
It was great. Hilarious. It was
he makes some good bread, brother. So there you go.
Yeah. It was great. It was great. But anyways, thank you so much for having me, Boom. It was fantastic. I'm happy that you're healthy. Same with Dread. You guys, you know, as Cog says, health is wealth. I'm currently next Friday. I'm actually going to go get a shot, like some sort of steroid shot for my back, and I'm going into physical therapy because I used to be an indoor skydiving instructor. Not anymore. Ended up getting hurt while I was working there, and I ended up stopping that whole thing. It was a fantastic gig, but anyways, I really appreciate you having me here, man. It's great talking gaming, and literally being here after like within the same week of one of the best showcases I've ever seen in my life. Like I really appreciate it.
No, we appreciate you having here, brother. Hopefully that shot does work out for you. And obviously, you know, we'll keep talking. Love what you're doing in the community, brother. You keep it real. You have fun. That's what it's about, right? That's what podcasting is supposed to be about. That's what content creation is supposed to be about. Web Dave, sell your brand, brother. Talk about the best place for all and everything when it comes to one-on-one interviews. You have been, I mean, just racking up the interview after interview. All great content, all done with, of course, extreme class and precision. More importantly, where can people not only check out those shows, but you got a Sunday show each and every Sunday with, of course, Retry from Game Pass _daily. Talk about it, sell your brand, and where can people reach out to you on social media?
I'll just drop the link in chat. Thank you so much, Boom, for having me on, and we're very, very blessed to have you healthy and in good shape. And I know Mrs. Boom is gonna keep you from exercising too soon, and even then,
Yep.
go a little light exercises, buddy. Light reps, okay? Get yourself back in
Yeah.
shape, and
I appreciate it.
and we need you in the community. So please take care of that health. That's most important. I got an interview up right now from Redders. It's a really good one. Up available today, and then. Monday's episode dropping is going to be Red Dead Panda, and then I think next week after that I'll have Jesse, I should say, from Xbox Era. He's gonna do an interview, and then I've got a few others in the
Jesse
works.
Norris. Yes,
I am Jesse Norris. Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's a fascinating cat, and I'm looking forward to his interview. We're gonna record that on Monday, and it'll be out in about the week after that, I guess. But yeah, great shows and that we've been doing, and with Gamers Council, I love it, and it's really growing. I can't thank everybody enough for joining those shows on Sunday night at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, Boom, thank you for everything, man.
Well, thank you, brother. Definitely appreciate you being a part of this show, not only on Breakfast with Boom, but of course you are a part of the Monday show, which is the Xbox Lunch Break Special, which I'm already working on, and we're going to be talking about stuff that we didn't even get a chance to talk about today because, man, the gaming news gods have been generous. But I will see you on Monday, brother. And of course, Fuzzy Belvedere, you must be licking the chops. We have an official release date for Forza, which is October 10th. It is going to be probably the greatest racing sim in the history of racing sims. It's what we all thought Polyphony would deliver with Gran Turismo, and basically, well, they delivered a wet fart. And this is going to be what racing games are going to strive to be after this. You have a channel, it's not dedicated to racing, but it's a good part of it. Where can people subscribe to your incredible YouTube channel where we can help you now get to 1K, but more importantly, reach out to you on social media?
Oh, just want to thank you for having me on. Also want to congratulate Ham Solo on your channel's progress, man. It's always awesome. That Samuel Blackley interview was awesome as well, man. So congrats on that. Also glad that Boom and Dreadpool, you're here and healthy, and continue exercise and staying strong and whatnot. And hopefully everybody here watching us, enjoy your weekend, be safe, have fun out there. But for those that want to hear my rambles and rants on anything gaming related, you can follow me on Twitter at Fuzzy_Belvedere. You can also find me on YouTube, Fuzzy Belvedere, all one word, for my channel. A lot of replays, some tips and pointers on racing stuff, and some other gaming topics and things like that. But you can also find me on Xbox Ultimate later on tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fun Speculations channel. Shop Podcast at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow on PTK Blam's channel. And then right back here on Monday on Double Barrel Gaming for the Xbox Lunch Break Special. Look forward to seeing you guys there.
And
thank you,
Fuzzy
brother.
links
And
in the chat.
last, no way least, Crispy Bomb, sell your brand, brother. Talk about what you got going on, and more importantly, where can people find you on social media for the crispy truth, as it's known?
Well, not camping, Boom. Yeah, so I'm off till Tuesday, so you don't really know where I'm going to show up as far as podcasting. I will always be back here every week and Breakfast with Boom, and yeah, you can find me on Twitter at CrispyBomb and CrispyBomb28 and Xbox Live, and you guys, you and Dreg gave me a scare over there. I was like, so you guys, I'm not going to get too sentimental. You know how I feel, so. And
Yes,
Ham, congratulations. And yeah, I mean,
Thank you.
Don't be crazy about stupid stuff on Twitter, guys. People are gonna have some crazy opinions. Just let it be. Let some of us take them to school, and you can comment after and laugh. So we'll leave it at that.
Well, great to have you here, brother. And sorry that your camping trip, because you like camping, got canceled due to the weather. But we're happy to have you here. And folks, of course, I want to say a big thank you to all of the super chats that came in and the channel messages. I cannot thank you enough for the support on the channel through those super chats, and of course through the channel memberships. And folks, I just want to say something that I do almost every show, and it wouldn't be the Double Barrel Gaming show if we didn't say this. And that's something that my dad taught us when we were kids. I think it's incredibly important now more than ever. He used to say, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, Craig. I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy gaming wherever you enjoy gaming. And we'll see you next week back on the newest episode of Breakfast with Boom.